This is a quick video that will help you prepare for your project number 11. This is the homework that we have. What we're going to do is we're going to copy data onto your Google Sheets. We're going to create a scatter plot, and we're going to find the correlation coefficient. Before you get started, it would be good to have your Google Drive open and you logged on, and also your web access. So once you get into web access in our course, scroll down to the week of March 21st to March 27th. And if you go down to the bottom here, this is the assignment that says prepare for project 11. So you can click on that. And the instructions are here, but we'll go through this video and I'll follow the instructions. So click here to get the data. And if you're already logged on to your Google Drive, then this data should just pop up automatically. Now, I don't want to mess with this original data. And in fact, if you copied it from my Google Drive, it's still my copy. So what you want to do is make your own copy. So we'll start by going to File and make a copy. And you can call it copy of body measurement, doesn't matter. So let's click OK. And this is your copy now. Now, we're going to mess around with this data, but we may want to use this data later on. So I'm going to create another sheet. Under here where it says Sheet 1, if you click on that, it says Duplicate. So let's duplicate this sheet so that we are using the copy of the sheet. Okay, our next task is to get rid of all the columns except for the weight and the height. Oh, before we do that, let's make sure that these first row headers will remain our header, and we can do that by clicking on this bar over here. Make sure you put your hand right above the one, click on it, and then drag it down one. So now Google Sheets will automatically look at this as the header. Alright, we are going to delete a bunch of rows except for the weight, the height, and later on it's the ankle girth. I see an ankle diameter here. I don't want that. I want the ankle girth. So to delete rows or columns, you just highlight. I'm going to right click, and then I have the option of deleting columns A and B. So I'll click on that, and now that's gone. I will highlight all this stuff now until I get to the ankle girth. Here's my ankle girth, so I'll stop short of that. I will right click again and delete a whole bunch of columns. So I have a wrist girth here that I can delete as well, so let me just get rid of that. Okay, now let's shuffle things around. We can work with this the way it is, but it's better if we can shuffle things around so that the ankle girth looks like it's going to be the explanatory variable, and then the weight and height will be the response variables. And so I'm going to want two copies of this. I'll just Control C it. If you try to copy it, it's going to tell you to hit Control C. So I copied it, Control C, and I want to insert it here. So if I go to A, right click A, I'm going to insert on the left side, and then I will paste my data. So I'm going to do the same thing for the weight. I'll insert on the left side and then paste my data. So I don't need my ankle girth anymore, so I can just get rid of this column as well. So now I have two columns right next to each other that I will work with as my X and Y values. Now these have a lot of numbers associated with them, so that's why it's good to make sure that you have the headers identified, and when I click on a column it's going to know that that's a header. Alright, now we're all set. We will first create a histogram. So I'm going to highlight the first histogram that I'm going to create will be for ankle and the height. I'm going to highlight ankle girth and height columns, and then I'm going to insert chart. Google Docs is really good about selecting which chart to use, and so I have several options for my chart, and it looks like the best option is a scatter plot. That's exactly what I was looking for. Now you can customize it here under customization. So I can click on customization, and I like the title the way it is, or some people might like the ankle girth to come first, but it doesn't matter because the axes are labeled anyways. I don't think I need the I think I want to change the color to maybe a dark color. Maybe I want to make this smaller. So right now it's 7 pixels. If I make it smaller, you might look a little bit clearer since there is a lot of them. You can also change the shape into something different from circles. Of course, if it's that small, it's not going to make much of a difference. And then you can try to mess around with a bunch of other things. But for now, let's just leave it like that. So I can click Insert, and then I have my graph here. I don't know if I really need this one, so if I right click on this I can clear the legend so I get more space for my graph. Okay, if you decide that you want to change your formatting, you can always go to this triangle up here and then click on Advanced Edit, and that'll open up that same window again for you to change whatever you need to change. Okay, so you do the same thing for the ankle girth and the weight, and then you'll get your two two scatter plots. Next is the correlation coefficient. So to get the correlation coefficient, I'm going to maybe I'll extend this a little bit. It looks like my columns disappeared, so I'm gonna just add a couple of more columns. So I want to be clear about what I'm looking for. This is my correlation coefficient. So I'm gonna, on the cell up here, I'm just gonna write C, the correlation coefficient. And since I will be looking for two correlation coefficients, I should specify which one this is. Ankle girth and height. Let's say versus height. Okay, the correlation coefficient is usually denoted by R. Well, you don't need to put the R there, but I just like to put the R there to make it clear. And now here's the command for the correlation coefficient. So pick a cell that you're going to put this in. You're going to type equals CORREL. You can see that that's the option here. That's the only option. I'm going to open the parentheses. Now I need to highlight two different sets, and I need to separate that with a comma. So I'm going to first click on ankle girth, and then I'll type comma, and then I'll click on height, and then I'll close the parentheses, and I see that my correlation coefficient is 0.5709. Okay? All right. Now, what I want you to submit is not this. What I want you to submit is a doc file that will help prepare for your Project 11. So I'm going to go back to my drive, and I'm going to say new, and I want to create a new document. So I'm going to put my name on it. And this isn't quite the project yet. This is the homework. And this is the homework for preparing for Project 11. So I need to include 2 histograms here. It looks like I only have 1. So I'm going to stick with just 1 histogram, but you're going to have to submit 2. And I have my snipping tool. And then I will copy this. Copy. And then I will go back to my new document. Paste. So you'll paste your second one next to it, or you can paste it below depending on how big your graphs are going to be. And then I also want you to include your correlation coefficient. And it would be good if your correlation coefficient was properly labeled. So down here, my correlation coefficient for ankle and girth versus height. So I'm just going to take a snapshot of that as well. New. Copy. And go back to my document, and I'll paste that. Alright, so you should have 2 of these as well. I'm going to save this with my last name, my first initial, and I'll click HW PROJ for Project 11. Okay, that's not really the important part. The important part is I want you to be able to share a link. So share, get shareable link. Now when you get the shareable link, what I want you to do is I want you to look for anyone. This is be able to view for anyone with a link. I'll click save, and then my shareable link is here, so I'm going to copy this. Okay, so once I copy that, I will paste that in my assignment page. So back to your assignment page, you scroll down here, add submission, and then it's going to allow you to type some stuff. So I'm just going to paste my document that I want to share, and then I will hit submit or save changes. And I will receive this document when I check for this homework set. Okay? So I hope that's clear, and this will get you prepared for your project that you're going to be working on when you get back from spring break. I would like for you to get this done before spring break because you'll have other homework to do during spring break. So we'll get it done soon. Okay, good luck.